Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we have some rather exciting news regarding the Old World mod. This is the custom campaign which is being made for Total War Warhammer 3, revolving essentially around the Warhammer 1 map but turning it into a more true scale experience. So as you can see, there is a lot of settlements. Now, we've spoken about this in the past, but there is a further addition to the news. As you can see, the map has been expanded a little bit more further to allow for some wiggle room. This is the Darklands, the Northern Chaos Waste a little bit, and the Southlands and a little bit of Araby. This is actually fairly exciting, mostly because it shows again that the map can continue to be expanded upon. As you know right now, through the playable area, it is currently 666 settlements, I believe, which is more than even the Immortal Empires has. Now, I did speak to Chaos Robbie over DMs, and it was just mostly to ask what was the reason for this, as this could just be extra padding to make the map a little bit better looking, or it could just be for extra additions, and he said that it was mostly for the Southern Badlands, possibly to add that in, which kind of makes sense considering that a bit more greenskin factions would always be kind of good, and also the map needs to be square, and now it is. This doesn't mean that the map can't get further expanded. In fact, it is only 1708 by 1474 in terms of hexes, I guess. It's technical speak, I guess, and he said that he wants to do a perfect square, which is 2048 by 2048. I guess this is the final map that we're seeing on screen right now, which again, absolutely perfect. This area is the hard cap as far as I've seen, right? Or at least the hard cap that Robbie has implemented. So that means as I've been able to play this version of the mod, I can scroll down to the very edge of, say, for example, Araby there, or the South Badlands and the Darklands on the side, and that's where the game essentially ends. Which again, more than enough content to play with. I mean, this is enough for multiple campaigns through different flavor. I imagine that adding in the Darklands, Chaos Waste, and Araby is also going to help with other modders, because as we do know, modders have already been implementing their mods into the game to be able to test it and so on. So this campaign will potentially have modded campaigns at launch, depending on how things go, obviously. One thing I'm very curious about, which even Robbie doesn't know, is what is exactly the settlement hard cap. As you might be aware, there is a hard cap in all the Total War games. The Rome Remastered game has like, what, 1,200 or something? Which to me is absolutely mind-blowing. That would literally be 2 times the size and a little bit extra of the amount of settlements that Immortal Empires has. So I'd be really curious to see if some mad lads could actually make up a campaign map and just see how much they could actually do in terms of settlements. Again, possibly most PCs wouldn't be able to run around 2,000 or 1,200 settlements on Warhammer 3's engine, because the tech debt is very, very clear now, and that's why Warhammer 3 is having so many problems. But yeah, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I just want to talk about the map. With the map expansions, it's not taking into account the current additions. Obviously, the map is there, but physically people can't go there, even with the like Fog of War off. You can't really go there too with just flying over with your camera. Again, this is a work in progress. This is only version 0.3. It's getting closer and closer to release, I'm imagining, because, well, yeah, literally there's a update every now and then. A lot of things have been fixed. People are providing a lot of feedback, which is available through like the modding den, I believe. And yeah, it's just looking at the scope and scale of this map. This is absolutely amazing. And the only reason why I'm showing you this right now is because I want you to see the level of detail, the level of work that a community of modders, these are people who are not paid, they're doing stuff out of passion, are creating just because they want to, just because they can. And just before anything, I do want to point out, obviously, that yes, there's a little bit of frame issues and so on. This is because I'm using the Fog of War mod on a map that is larger than the Immortal Empires, which is obviously rendering every faction, everything going. But yeah, it is incredible. You're seeing just massive amount of work. Seeing Bretonia into a true scale is something just absolutely beautiful. Seeing the Empire so massive, everything, loads of little lore locations, which unfortunately had to be left out from the Immortal Empires map, or just the Total War Warhammer in general, due to, well, engine limitations, right? The difference between CA and modders here is that modders can just go batshit insane, right? because at the end of the day, this isn't like an official product, so they won't get attacked for frame issues and bugs and so on, but it's just how it works, you know? And again, this is insane. This wouldn't be possible without Creative Assembly too. I know a lot of people like to shit on Creative Assembly, but with this, you know, these cane tools was helped by Creative Assembly, you know? I do wonder what the plan is when it comes to the possible map extensions and so on, considering that there is a rather lovely amount of dead area in a sense. It would be cool just to add in a little bit more, hopefully some more sub-factions. We know that there's a lot of modded factions which would work out quite well. It's all a matter of time. But again, when I tell you guys, when you guys ask me, you know, why aren't you completely pessimistic about everything that's going on with Total War? It's like, well, you know, Creative Assembly are busy right now sorting out some rather important matters, let's be honest there. But the modding community is still going out there and doing stuff like this. And believe me, there are a lot of other mods that I've not spoken to you guys about yet, which aren't even out yet. So when they get closer to release and the modders tell me it's time, yeah, it's going to keep the game alive, guys. It's going to keep the game alive. This is the big reason. I mean, looking at, say, for example, Altdorf, right? The fact that Reichland is like, I think 11 settlements total is beautiful, right? Again, so much to play around with, so much to have fun with. The modding community is what's keeping this stuff alive, and I can't wait to see this properly released. Like, I've just been playing around, just seeing what bugs there are. I'm not running into many bugs, and in this area, this build, I think a few of the bugs that I did encounter have already been fixed. So it's nice to see this continuing. It's nice to see essentially what is the future of Total War Warhammer 3. And I know you guys might see that in a negative light, but you have to think about it this way. Eventually, Creative Assembly will stop making content for this, right? Eventually, Creative Assembly will move on to next titles. That's usually because of licensing issues, right? Eventually, the license will run out. But modders will still keep making stuff for this. Same as we've seen modders still continuing with Attila, Rome Remastered now, and pretty much every other game. This is why I'm not too concerned about the future, because I'm still getting toys and you're still getting toys to play with. I still think, and I'm going to say this very honestly, that Creative Assembly can actually turn things around and maybe fix up the current sentiment. We'll be talking about that in a future video down the line. But yeah, there's no reason to be like always for everything negative. And I know that might sound controversial, but there's modders who have unfortunately quit recently because of the negativity, because it affects them too, right? They want to just have fun. They want to make free content for you guys and obviously free content for themselves to play around with. We need to praise these modders. We need to say thank you for everything that they do. I mean, hell, I've been playing a little bit less Total War than usual, I must admit. But between this, Immortal Empires Expanded, and pretty much a lot of other mods, I've still found reason to play Total War, and I think that's a great thing. Sorry, I don't want to divert the topic too much, but a lot of these modders do hear the sentiments of the community, and then they do wonder if it's worth working on this stuff or not. Not necessarily Robbie, I haven't asked his thoughts on the matter, but I have spoken to others, and, well, it's very obvious that a lot of them have left. And I feel like it's important to talk about. But, that being said, this map is amazing. Robbie needs to be praised for it. I believe that there is a Reddit thread there, so, you know, I'll have that linked in the description. It'll also be the thread that has the image from before if you want to look at it in more detail. And, yeah, go give him some praise, you know? I feel like the community needs a little bit of uplifting stuff every now and then. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the map in the comments below. Let's have a bit of a normal discussion for once. And, yeah, have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend.